favorite one. The girls there are absolutely remarkable. Came to my game, actually supported me. But
This year
it's great.
or
Yeah,
yeah,
this year.
nice.
So they got to
Okay.
support me, and it was actually really inspiring for a lot of them. And that's kind of what I wanted to do throughout basketball, with having everyone get a chance to score, and then with life. Like,
So psychology major is your major?
Yeah.
Or okay. And so then obviously with your I guess working with them, is that the path after Skidmore, or like, or are you planning on staying relatively local, or are you saying, oh, hey, maybe my internship or maybe my academics or whatever could land me a job somewhere else? I mean, were you just taking what comes to you, or do you have plans already?
So far, I have plans to stay at Charlton for a
A little
while. I
bit.
want to
Okay.
get a year of experience before I try
Okay.
and go anywhere, so I have a solid resume. But I'm hoping to travel a little bit outside of kind of the small area that I've stayed around. I'm really family oriented. I love, love, love my family. So it'll be heartbreaking to ever kind of leave them for a little while, but
Sure. Are you more of a smaller town kind of person? Like if you were to get a job opportunity or an internship opportunity like in Manhattan, would that be overwhelming for you, or you think you can just take any challenge that comes to you?
yeah, I like Chicago.
Oh, you've been okay.
Yeah,
Chicago's a cool
Chicago's
city too.
nice.
Cold, but a good city. Yeah.
Cold.
Yeah.
But I actually have a long distance boyfriend, and I had him this whole
Okay.
senior year. So he
Nice. Okay.
lives in Michigan, and
Oh, well, that's
may,
decent distance.
yeah,
Yeah.
may work in Chicago. So
Okay.
that's an opportunity to see if I want to try about a little bigger lifestyle. But I grew up
Chicago's a different
literally on
animal.
a hobby farm.
A what farm?
A hobby farm.
What's a hobby farm?
A hobby farm is an old farm that has no animals, but is filled with like four-wheelers and anything that is like,
Oh, like a hobby.
yes,
Oh, so
like
that wasn't like,
we
that's
had a
not like
basketball court
a
in our barn.
okay,
Very
so a hobby, so it's a literal sense
Yeah,
hobby. I thought
yeah.
that was like a term that I didn't understand. It means
No.
something. Okay, so a literal hobby
Yeah.
farm. Okay. Now there's a lot of farm area out by the Plainsburg area, right? It's that whole section of it's Schoharie County.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
close to Skidmore. Yeah.
Yeah, so that whole section is kind of a little bit more rural. I used to, like I said, I used to pass Southern Oneonta, and I knew when I got to Cobleskill, I was halfway. That was between Albany and Oneonta. But really on I-88, there's nothing until you get to Binghamton. I mean, it's just it's a road that is a little bit more on the boring side,
Yeah,
but
it is.
I've had to drive it several times. Long time ago, though. I'm old.
No.
I'm old. I graduated. Wait, so you graduated high school? What?
22.
22. Yeah, I was gonna say you came in here at 22, 23 seasons.
Yeah.
So jeez. Okay, I graduated high school to give everybody out there. I know. There are certain people that are listening that are gonna say you're not old, and I'm not gonna give names out there, but I know you're listening because I got a text. But I graduated high school in '06,
Okay.
and then college in 2010.
Ah, okay.
So a long time ago for both.
Yeah, you had a little time.
Yeah. I'm lucky to not be gray at this point. So where I'm at. So when the one thing before we get into a little bit more about this season and your growth into becoming a starter here, I did notice you lettered in volleyball as well.
I did, yes.
Aren't they the same season? So how did you manage that?
I'm not sure. I think it's the same as soccer season, which was right in the fall.
Okay, so it's before
It's
basketball.
a little bit before. It did clash a little bit.
Okay. I thought they were both winter sports. I could be wrong, but I thought they were.
I think ours started a little bit earlier than the rest. But yeah, I didn't have too much conflict. But
Okay.
I definitely liked volleyball, but I had to stop when it was like
Oh, yeah,
getting
when it
close
was
to the
basketball,
end. And my coaches were pretty cool about that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I had three, but I had three distinct. Like I had
Different
I had
seasons for it?
football in the fall, basketball in the winter, and then either lacrosse or baseball in the spring. And then because I've been sports my whole life.
Yeah.
It's been between broadcasting to sports. It's just been 20 years and 200 pounds ago. It was my life. But since then, beer and pizza have gotten the best of me. But yeah. It was crazy because my metabolism. I used to have to like bulk up all summer for football and then slim down right away for basketball, and then kind of be, depending on if it was lacrosse or baseball, like, okay, do I want to be like a bigger side or do I want to be more lean, and then bulk up all summer and then slim down? So
It's a process.
finally, yeah, and now it's caught up to me. It's just stuck on slow motion right now for metabolism. So, and so then you have all the success you've had the first 2 years. Again, 45-11, 32-4. Coach Turner leaves. Coach Bostic comes in, who was actually my first show here. I had been talking with him about the show for a while, and then he obviously volunteered to be the first one. And I told him I was going to have some players on. So I told him, he's I'm going to ask you a few things. And I told him, hey, I want them to be honest. I don't want them to be, But so he came on, and he has a completely different style. He's a little bit more laid back, but he's also can be intense when he needs to be.
Oh yeah.
Very animated on the sideline, dresses to a T. I mean, he's comes out there, starts out with the sweatsuit, and he goes to the locker room, comes out all Gucci'd out, and I'm like,
he wore a pink suit for my senior night.
He did, yes, he did wear. Which, by the way, you were the leading scorer that day, 13 points in that game, and it was you guys. You had a different mentality. See, he said defense into offense. Defense creates offense. He said he likes his defense to open up opportunities. And you saw a little bit more of a press this year, a little bit more of a full court, 93 feet, turnovers leading to fast breaks, which you didn't see as much. You guys were a little bit more of a half court under Coach Turner, but your defense was so much, it was very intense in the half court. But you were an offensive team. I mean, under Coach Turner, you guys were putting up 60, 70, 80, once or twice 90 points in a game. You guys were having a lot of games under Coach Bostic, 35, 40 points, 50 points, but you were getting wins. So what's the philosophy difference between those two coaches?
Yeah, I first want to say, because I didn't mention it before, that team I had going in freshman year and sophomore year, amazing team, and I'm
ridiculous. They were an NCAA tournament team,
insane. Thank you guys for everything. But the philosophy difference, with Coach Turner, it was just, we're going to do a man. You're going to work as hard as you can. And that's not something we need to practice, because we do that in all of our drills. With Coach Bostic, I don't know if you guys know what the amoeba is.
I do. They might not, but yeah.
It is quite a crazy defense to learn. So that was a huge change for me. I'm like really into people's face. And I think that defense at Coach Bostic, the amoeba, allowed me to do that, but it was just very different. I would say, like, practice wise, Coach Turner had like a list, like it would fall out of her pocket like 10 times a practice, but of exactly what we're going to do with the exact minutes. I would say we had more shooting drills and more things like that I think Coach Bostic, on the other hand, like focuses more on like the team play and the cohesion. That way we'll do a lot more drills against each other, really work on that amoeba defense against offenses that we would play, and less of that like skill work.
Yep.
So I know we're supposed to do it outside of practice, but some people, their schedules are packed to a T, and they're barely getting enough time.
It's
to
tough
shower.
with academics and everything. Yeah. Well, is he more of a film guy? Is he a film study and break down your opponent, or is he more of like, this is what we're going to run, and I know the team, but this is what I want you guys to run? Or did he bring you guys all in and break everything down? I know Coach Turner was very detailed, and you guys had film study, and you were in the study hall. I don't know what building on campus, but you were watching the film, and she would rewind it and watch this thing and then come back and rewind it. Coach Bostic seems a little bit more chill, so how is that? How do you think that helped you guys mentally? Did you feel less pressure these last 2 seasons?
Yeah. We used to get tested on scouts
with
by
Coach
Turner.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to know our stuff. So.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, that's good.
Everyone has their ways, but Coach Bostic, like, besides the film, he liked film. We watched it, but we didn't really like focus on it too hard unless it was like crunch time. Like when we went to the league, he really, really got down on it. But Coach Bostic, this is not just because I know you're watching, but he truly saved me in my career of basketball.
Okay.
From sophomore to junior year, I felt mentally and physically more free and myself. I felt like that little girl playing for the first time.
Sure. The more fun.
The more I felt comfortable.
Yep.
Like, he didn't make me think too much about the game or like how I'm dribbling or what pass I made. Like, he knew what I could do. And I'll get into more of that when we talk about me starting. But yeah, he is a free-flowing type of guy, but he knows his stuff. like this guy, he knows basketball.
Yeah, I got his background a little bit, and he definitely, when he was on, and yeah, he definitely has a mind for it, for
Yeah, he
sure.
does.
But he does have a different philosophy. And so then do you think that perhaps the culture difference within the locker room, within the program, kind of not just helped you, but a lot of players? Because I had Ruby on as well.
Yeah.
And, Ruby didn't play for the first 2 years. And when she was on this year, I was like, oh, they got a new player, Ruby Crowd. But I'm looking at this, I'm like, junior.
Yeah.
I've seen everybody that's come through this program for a decade. I don't know her.
Yeah.
And then so I got to finally talk to her about why the first 2 years she wasn't playing, which again you guys can go on to WSPN on YouTube and check that out. And I'm not gonna go into that here. But so you think that the culture, like you said, it saved you, definitely helped you out a little bit and made you perhaps a better player, or just more of a more free, comfortable player? Like, do you think that you improved your game in these last 2 years than you had in the first two, or are you just had more freedom to be? Like, is it both, or?
Yeah. First, I want to say Ruby Crop is an amazing player. And I advocated before this year started to get her on this team.
Okay.
I knew what she could do.
I mean, leading rebounder.
I
so
knew we
it
needed
helped,
that height,
Yeah.
and she was strong and never gave up. Amazing. So besides that, I don't know. I think it was always in me. I think that I just like lost it in those first 2 years, and I was kind of playing a way that just didn't allow me to choose and make mistakes. But I will say I do think I improved different parts of my game this year. Coach Bostic, the first coach to be able to do it, improved my mid-range game, which was actually something that allowed my percentages and analytics to go up, because my shot selection was so much better than taking a layup against a girl from Ithaca who was 2 times my height.
Yeah, well, yeah, you were a little bit more of a drive type of player the first 2 years. I noticed that. But if that's not your strength, then I can see how that would be hard. Your passing has really stepped it up as well. But I think, again, the main thing that everyone knows about you is just the defense. That's really been your thing, and defense into offense. And I could tell the culture changed just from, yes, it was successful. It was fun to call those first 2 years because it was all the wins and it was exciting. But I noticed a body language difference between everybody these last 2 years, and I noticed a little bit more of a you look like you were having more fun.
Yeah.
You in particular, but a bunch of people look like you were just more free, which, again, Coach booked, and I talked to him about this, during the RPI game. I said, how are the players responding? Because you started 1-9 because you booked the toughest non-conference schedule I think I have ever seen. 7 non-conference games, 5 of them were nationally ranked, and 3 of those were top 3 in the nation. But he had his philosophy, and he said it battle tested you. It got you ready for the tough conference games. And the Liberty League is one of, if not the toughest on the East Coast for competition for the Division III level. So it got you guys ready, and it got you to a point where when I was doing the RPI game, the coach, or not the coach, the AD up there was like, I don't want to see these guys again. He said, because you look at it, and you guys had 7 at that point 7 conference losses by a combined 15 points. So you were in every game right to the end. Maybe one mistake would happen here, or one, referee, I'll put that in air quotes, thing happened there. Something just didn't go your way at the end. But you guys were battling with everybody. And I think that's a testament of that non-conference that you had played.
Yeah.
Whereas instead of kind of cakewalking through your non-conference and then getting into a tough conference, which I think helped you down the stretch, because you did come out, you did avenge the RPI game on the road. Again, I was there. Very, very tough environment to play in.
Yeah.
And then obviously you guys unfortunately ran into a buzzsaw with RIT. They were very good this year, which is good for them too, because they've had some down years. So it's good for them to finally get to where they need to go. Did they win the conference?
No,
it was
Union.
Union, that's right. Yep,
actually,
yep.
Actually, one of their players told me after our game when we lost at Union that they did not want to see us again.
Yeah.